join hands to rebuild the trust that's been lost, to mend what's been broken, and to help this community regain its confidence and its stability. Literally, the eyes of our nation and the world are on us. In order for that important process of healing and reconciliation to begin, we need to address some very immediate challenges. That's why today I'm announcing that the Missouri Highway Patrol, under the supervision of Captain Ron Johnson, who grew up in this area, will be directing the team that provides security in Ferguson. Now, what I'm announcing today does not affect the responsibilities of those who are involved in the investigation. And I would once again like to thank General Holder for agreeing to my request that the Justice Department conduct a parallel investigation in this matter. I also want to thank all local law enforcement officials who have been working so very hard on the investigation here at the local level. While that investigation continues, the immediate security responsibilities will now be directed by the Missouri State Highway Patrol, who have proven themselves time and again when Missourians have needed them the most. I want to thank the hard-working members of the local and regional police departments who have and will continue to work with the Highway Patrol as the troopers take the lead in this critical mission. I want to specifically thank those officers who have been working double shifts, who have been out there on the cutting edge, working, putting themselves out there. I appreciate the work that they've done. Today is the day, though, that our words and deeds will set a better cornerstone on which to build our shared future. Because I believe, and quite frankly, I know, that Ferguson will not be defined as a community that was torn apart by violence, but will be known as a community that pulled together to overcome it. Today is the day that we renew our commitment to bring peace to the families of Ferguson, the day we commit to our mutual responsibilities of ensuring the safety and security of our communities and making sure they are served with justice and respect by their leaders. The day that we embrace our shared obligation as citizens to express our grief in a peaceful manner and voice our expectations for fairness and justice. Friends, we must pledge again to build up this community and direct it and ourselves toward the better angels of our nature. We'll now hear from a couple other folks, and I'll be glad to take questions. The first of those, I want to introduce for you to make a few comments, Captain Ron Johnson of the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Captain Johnson.
I appreciate the significance of this responsibility and the fact that this community and state and the nation are looking for law enforcement leadership that protects and serves our citizens. I grew up here, and this is currently my community and my home. And therefore, it means a lot to me personally that we break this cycle of violence, diffuse attention, and build trust, showing the utmost respect for every interaction with every citizen. Moving forward, I'm confident that the patrol and police resources present here in Ferguson will do just that. They understand, as I do, how important it is that Ferguson has confidence in law enforcement, works with us, and understands that we are here to serve them. I understand that the anger and fear that the citizens of Ferguson are feeling, and our police officers will respect both of those. Thank you.
We now have with us the two chief executives of this region, and I appreciate their cooperation, support, and the professionalism they and their teams bring to a myriad of opportunities each and every day. Let me first ask the county executive of St. Louis County, Charlie Dooley, if you would.
Let me say good afternoon to all of you. I come to you this afternoon with a very heavy heart. What we have seen these past few days in St. Louis County has been a tragedy. For the Michael Brown family, it has been a tragedy. They have lost a son. In St. Louis County, the world is looking at us and how do we treat our own. Is there freedom of assembly? Of course there is. We support freedom of assembly. But what we do not support is disobedience for the law-abiding people in St. Louis County. I have been saddened by what I have seen these past few days. Individuals come to this community not for the right purpose. I'm for justice. I am not for revenge. I'm for what's doing is right and making it right. We have a large job ahead of us, bringing this community together. It is not going to be a simple thing. There are too many questions that has not been answered. that need explanations. People need to know, have closure to what is going on around them. Are they going to be protected in their homes? Are they going to feel safe in their communities? But even more importantly, as we move forward, can the community and our law enforcement come together to work as a unit? Neither one can get there by themselves. We need each of them to participate in this process. I want to thank Governor Nixon and his team stepping forward, recognizing we need all the resources that we can possibly garner to make this happen, to improve the process. I want to thank my good friend Mayor Slave for being with us, and Captain Johnson. It's going to take all of our agencies to make this situation better. It's going to take all of us. But even more importantly, it's going to take the people in the communities to calm down, stand down, and let's be reasonable. Let's have a conversation about what is happening in our community. How do we perceive ourselves? How does the world look at us as a community? This ought not to be a black and white thing. This ought not to be a disrespectful thing to the citizens of our community. We can do better than this. I am confident that as we go forward, we're going to make a difference. And one of the things that I pledge to you, I'm going to appoint a blue ribbon committee to report to me to look at what are we doing, how are we doing it, but even more importantly, get people in the community involved in this process. They need to feel that they are part of it. They need to feel that they are part of the solution. And the only way you can do that is involve those individuals. So I pledge in the next coming weeks, we're going to get a blue ribbon committee from both sides, and let's get together and talk about what are our expectations, what do we expect, and how are we doing, and give a regularly update on what's going on in our community. We have nothing to hide. It's transparent, and oh, by the way, we want the media to be involved in this process as well. We're going to make sure that they're kept front of what's going on, why are we doing certain things, and what's the outcome we expect. I look forward to this communication. I look forward to this resources coming together. But even more importantly, I believe that we can make a difference in people's lives. People expect us in St. Louis County that make their life safe, their businesses safe, their families safe. They have a right to that. And that's our jobs. And we're going to do it. So, in closing, I am committed to this process. I know our team is committed to this process. All of our agencies are committed to this process. But I need the people of St. Louis County and the region to be committed to this process. It's not an us thing, it's ours. This is our community. The world is looking at us across this world. And how we represent ourselves, it speaks volumes to our young people. They're our next leaders. We are the mentors. We're setting the bar. What type of bar are we setting for our young people? They're looking at us. It is our responsibility to make it better. Thank you.
Let me also thank these members of the legislature that are with us today that represent this area so well and have their finger on the pulse of this community and represent that so well in Jefferson City. I appreciate these leaders being with us. We have been in contact with them as we move through. We'll continue to do that in the coming weeks, but I want to thank them for their involvement. Now I'd like to hear from the mayor of the city of St. Louis, our good friend Francis Slade.
All right, thank you, Governor. Michael Brown was fatally shot in Ferguson this past Saturday. His parents, his family, friends, and this community are all in mourning. I mean, these are facts that are not in dispute. Nor is the need for a full, fair, and transparent investigation. Nor is the need for justice to be served or people to be heard. The governor asked me to stand with him and County Executive Dooley today to demonstrate our common agreement on this situation. Justice must happen. The grieving must be comforted. The angry must be heard. And the innocent must be protected. I agree on the direction that the governor has set. I offered him the experience of two senior police commanders from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, Chief Sam Dodson and Major Ronnie Robinson, both of whom are here this afternoon. They are available to provide advice and support. Sam and Ronnie will bring a wealth of useful and practical knowledge to the effort, and certainly whatever support they can provide. They can help protect people and their right to assembly peaceably, to protect the right to talk about it and to report it, and to help keep people safe. I want to conclude by recognizing the officers of the St. Louis County Police Department and Ferguson Police Department and other law enforcement officials that have been involved on the streets of Ferguson over the past several days. I want
Tonight and tomorrow and the next day after that, if you have, as was indicated by Executive Dooley as well as others, the support of the community, and that's why these legislators and other local leaders are so important. But I think you're going to see a once again, I don't want to speak for operationally other than to say that I think that while maintaining the peace, but allowing more movement, trying to bring in a different, how should we say, a different tone of the amplitude of protective force. My sense is that will have an effect, and I know the operational teams on the ground have been working on some of those changes anyway, and I appreciate that them doing that. We're going to get plenty of questions here, and we're going to go ahead, Kevin. All of us have seen some level of escalation, and we've certainly seen some level of escalation of both the arms that have been used to deter, as well as some of the conduct. I think there's been at that level we feel that we need to dim that acceleration, provide an avenue for folks to speak appropriately, but that I think will allow us to have a better chance at a better focus on guaranteeing more public safety. So clearly, I think you'll see as the afternoon and evening starts, a little different picture, and our hope is that will begin. We should also note that there will be resources out there if things get difficult to make sure that people are kept safe. But I think that clearly the kind of the strong front on the force line, our strong force on the front line. Our hopes would be that we'd have the ability to get a little more peaceful interaction on the front with force further back.
Governor, how would you explain the nature of the presence that we saw on the streets yesterday? I mean, there were armored personnel carriers, about 100 police in military-style uniform, high-powered rifles being trained on the crowd. I mean, who is in charge of making those decisions, and are they going to be held to account for mistakes that you clearly think have been made?
No, I think that that was yesterday, tonight's tonight, tomorrow's tomorrow. So we all have seen both an acceleration as to the intensity kind of on both sides of the equation, and our hope is that this operational shift will begin the process of lowering the intensity of those direct interactions and potential risks, while at the same time expanding an opportunity for folks to speak out appropriately about both long and short-term issues that clearly have struck a nerve. Yeah.
It was definitely one-sided yesterday.
Yeah. What's that?
It was definitely one-sided yesterday. It was a response to a peaceful protest. There had been no violence at all from the crowd. And the nature of that response, we're just trying to understand how that can happen. Who was in charge at that point of making those decisions that brought
I'm not
that
looking
kind
backwards.
of force into the streets?
I'm looking backwards. I'm looking forward and forward. When we saw the acceleration in this situation and the thrusting forward, that's our sense that a how should we say, a softer front might yield an avenue for appropriate energy absent direct confrontation. Yeah, Chris.